Hi, everybody. Nutty back. Tomorrow is going to be September 1st, and that is going to be my official start date, even though I have been working out for the last couple of weeks, gathering up all of the things that I needed to what I felt I would be successful. I replaced my banded rebounder with a spring rebounder for rebounding. And I recently got a recumbent exercise bicycle because I actually can't get up on a bicycle because of the osteoarthritis in my hips. Doesn't allow for that particular moment at this time. But I have been using the exercise bike when I can. The tension is stepped pretty high, and that motion, the bicycling motion, creates quite a bit of issue in my hip. And my goal is to get fit, not to make the hip worse and end up in the hospital getting bigger. Because it's unacceptable to me that I have allowed myself, after putting myself through a gastric bypass, to get this heavy again, and this out of fit. I feel like I'm living the life of a 500-pound plus woman, except I'm not getting to eat everything I want to eat, and I'm not a 500-pound woman. So I want to stop living like one, and that means moving my ass. Sorry, I hope that doesn't get me in trouble. So I had my husband do my measurements for me Friday when he was home. On August the 30th, my arms measured 23 inches. My bust was measuring 47 and 3/4 of an inch. The waist was 49 and 3/4. The hips was 59 and a half. I just said go 60. I got big ass. Always had one. My thighs are 29 and a quarter. My calf is 21 and a quarter inches. And my weight this morning was 286. So as of tomorrow, I'm not going to be getting on the scales. I don't do that. I refuse to do a daily scale thing. That is the first no-no when you go have any kind of weight loss support group thing. They tell you, if you have scales and you're living by the scales, get rid of your scales. Put your scales up. Let the doctor. So for basically, probably for the first 6 months of my gastric bypass downing, I didn't have scales at home. I got weighed at the doctor's office. I think it was after my first 100 pounds, I went ahead and got me a scale. And I've been using it ever since, and I had to replace it for this particular section of the journey. I needed a new one that I knew was completely accurate. That might be helpful if you're trying to get on track. I'm not actually trying to lose weight, although I know that by getting fit and becoming more active, I will be losing weight. If I get to a point where I'm feeling like, man, I feel great, I can do a lot more stuff, and I'm still not losing weight, then I will address it. But I'm not doing stupid shit like going to and eating fries and hamburger. Oh, I can't eat those kind of things anyway, but I mean the things that I can eat that are no-nos that I can eat, like chips. I gave those up 2 weeks ago. And before I ever made a video, I was like, I've got to know that I have the gumption this time to take it on and be public about it. So I'm giving my accountability speech right here, and I'm going to do it. My step goals right now are 2,000. That seems pretty low to a lot of people who are very active people. I have a Fitfort. Perspective is always my friend. I got it off of Amazon. A Fitfort tracks my steps along with my sleeping. Quite concerned about regaining sleep apnea. I'm not sure on my way up the first time when the sleep apnea started, trying not to get there again because it really wreaked havoc on my weight gains. So I really find that awesome because it has a little reminder, vibrates my wrist, and away I go for a walk. Not very many, but to the restroom, get a drink, jump on the trampoline. I've been getting 2,000 steps in, but my body has been super tired. So this week, instead of moving up to 3,000 steps, I'm not making it my goal, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to strive to get more than 2,000 steps. But if it doesn't happen, I'm not going to sit here and, oh, you didn't get you didn't make. No, I'm going to go for 2,000 steps another week. I've worked the first week it was 1,500, then I went to 2,000, and so we're into the third week, and I'm going to stay at 2,000 because I feel like trying to push myself to 3,000, I could hurt myself. Let's do the 2,000. Maybe we'll peak out a couple of days at 3,000 like I did last week, but the day that I did that, I ended up the next day not even making the 2,000 because I was so wore out bodily because I'm living as a 500-pound woman. So, I got a long ways to go. A long ways to go. And I hope by putting my story out there that even as a gastric bypass patient, I can still gain weight. And now I have to do the steps to lose the weight that I did before. And it wasn't just the surgery that was part of losing the weight. It was moving and, making sure that I follow the rules by, drinking and not having anything in my stomach for 15 minutes or not drinking for 15 minutes after I eat. I haven't been doing that for several years. But the last 4 years since I broke my feet, that's been kind of devastating for my weight. And I'm always going to hurt, so I got to keep on hurting. Just deal with the pain and work through it and try not to hurt myself worse, but I've got to get my muscles going. I'm going to end up in a wheelchair, and I refuse. I'm going to be 55 in a month and a half, and I would like to be in a little bit better situation than I am in this particular moment in time. 1 month and a half. Let's see if we can get any of these. I'm not going to be checking the measurements every week. I'm going to just check the waist and the hips every week. I tend to lose weight in my face first when I start losing weight in my face, and then through exercise, usually my hips and my waist are the first to show benefit. If you've been on a weight loss journey, you know that you can plateau with your scales. So you should always have measurements of before you started. Here's mine. And that will help you on those days where your scales are just not moving, because many times I went through like a 4-month period where my scales did not move. And when I was losing weight, I would get so disheartened, and they're just like, get your tape measure and measure yourself. And I would find my waist would be an inch thinner, my thighs would be thinner. So take your measurements. I recommend that to you, everyone. Take your measurements before you get started on your serious weight loss or getting fit journey, whatever is your goal. My goal is to get fit. My goal here to share it on YouTube with everybody else is I feel like I have a valid story to tell. I feel like other people have been in my shoes. I feel like people are in my shoes. Maybe somebody who's had a gastric bypass is too embarrassed to come to say, oh man, I've gained weight back. Well, I'm embarrassed that I've gained weight back, but I'm also, I've had my reasons, and they're just excuses, some of them. The physical part, I'm going to have to deal with that. I'm going to do as much as I can per my physical limitations, but I'm also going to push those limitations because a lot of it is pain from inactivity. So this 286-pound lady is no longer going to live as a 500-plus pound lady. Let's get moving and making some changes. I'm hoping to do a video maybe every Sunday night, Monday morning. We'll see how that goes. Pretty hard with commitment. It's kind of strange that I've been married for 34 years because I have such a hard time with commitment. Let's see what we do. Let's see if we can change those numbers. Have a blessed day. Peace out.